Hey internets, it's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and this is Scribes and Scrolls. This is, of course, Book 7, Under a Red Moon. This is Chapter 97, Flying
Whoa,
into the Eye of Dread.
almost a centennial here, folks.
Almost. I mean, you could count the 7 or 8 interludes, or however many of those we
We
have,
could.
and that puts us at well over 100, but I would like to have 100 main episodes in addition to everything else. And we'll get there. We'll get there. We've still got a little ways to go before we wrap things up on this overall campaign. Um, Sooner or later, in this case sooner, you're going to end up at that red moon that you've been under for the last year at least.
We've been under this red moon
Well,
so long
actually,
that we had an eclipse. We were actually under a fucking
dude,
scary moon
I
today.
I almost when I was working on stuff to do between now and the end of the campaign, one of the things I was looking at was called the Umbral Eclipse. And yeah, it would have just been too perfect to have an eclipse episode
Little on the
timed to the
nose.
day of a literal eclipse. Which, if you're watching with us live, it's April 8th, 2024, where we had a full eclipse. Well, we had 95% here in Michigan.
It was
Uh,
dim.
it got dim. It got dim as if
It got hazy.
I felt like I was wearing sunglasses for about 30 minutes. And then I walked in the house and it really felt dark. Um, but something else cool happened today. And I'm going to use this to lead into the first of our announcements. We have coming up on April 20th, Saturday, April 20th at 5 p.m. East or 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Good Lord, let me try that again. All over the place. On Saturday, April 20th at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on twitch.tv/mini terrain domain, is Todd Stashwick's Nerd Circus presents Legends of Eleonora, Zephyr Against the Mist, a Dungeons & Dragons charity live stream event benefiting the Pavlov Foundation, featuring Dungeon Master Todd Stashwick and celebrity players Jonathan Frakes, Deborah Ann Wall, Michelle Hurd, and Will Wheaton.
Yep.
That's an incredible lineup of people. And Jonathan Frakes will be playing his first ever Dungeons and Dragons game right here on the channel.
Oh
In
my
fact,
god.
he's going to be. Todd just said today that he's going to be working with Frakes this week to roll up his character. So we don't yet
Oh,
know what Frakes is going to play. We don't know what any of them are going to play yet. But of course, Will Wheaton has been playing D&D for a very long time. Deborah Ann Wall is well known in Hollywood circles and in the Dungeons and Dragons community as being an amazing player and a incredible game master. And then Michelle Hurd as recently as a couple months ago, I think, played her first ever D&D game.
you want to know something
Um,
funny? Because I'm slightly less of a nerd than other folks in the MTD community, I saw her headshot and my first thought was not Star Trek. I was like, oh, that's that girl from SVU, like the early seasons of Law and Order SVU.
she was on
And I looked it up and she was.
she was on the show that I keep Blind Spot.
Oh, dang.
Yeah,
Okay.
she was in the show Blind Spot with
Of
the one where
Ashley
they
Johnson fame.
yes. Um, so yeah, now when I mentioned that something really great happened was since we announced this on March 30th, we have had a seat auction up because we were auctioning a seat for somebody to be able to play in this game. One lucky auction winner uh, got the winning bid today as we close the auction out at $8,500. So that puts us
Dang.
well on our way towards our $50,000 goal, which is enough to fund a research grant for childhood cancer research and prevention. The great
Awesome.
work that Pavlov Foundation is doing. Um, So you want to be sure to tune in on April 20th so you can check out that game. There'll be lots of incentives that will allow you to affect the game. There'll be some giveaways from Pavlov and Die Hard Dice, as well as additional incentives. I will be 3D printing and painting a dice tower that Todd Stashwick is going to autograph. Talon and Claw is donating DM screen that Todd will also autograph, and those will be available for donation incentives. So yeah, tune in, check that out, and help us fight childhood cancer as we have fun playing D&D. Other super quick announcements. If you look up over there above Cari, you will see something that we call domain tomes. Now, it's going to look like I'm taking 4 of those away, but that's only because I'm adding in the +5 because of the subscription that we just got, resubscription, which is one of the ways that you can provide domain tomes for players, also by cheering 500 bits, tipping $5, resubs, gift subs, subscribing, all that stuff earns these. Players can use for things like getting a reroll or changing the level of success of their dice roll. They can turn a success into a critical success or a critical failure into a failure, whatever, and they can do it to my dice as well.
Yeah.
Let's see. 2 final announcements real quick. One, we are adults playing a game of make-believe in a fantasy world. There will be graphic depictions of violence. There may be intense role-playing scenes, adult language, that kind of thing. If that's not something you're into, that's fine. Nobody will think any less of you if you leave and go watch something else. But do know that we take care of one another at the gaming table. We are aware of everyone's lines and fails, and we have safety tools in place to keep each other safe. We encourage you to do the same at your own tables. Everybody should have fun and feel safe when playing these games. And finally, as we tell you before every game, we like to remind you that you matter. Your presence on this earth makes a difference. Whether you believe it or not, it is true. There can be any number of reasons why you might need to talk to somebody. It could be that that you're in a bad place, or maybe you're in a good place. Maybe you're in a middle place. Regardless of what place you're in, you can come into our chat. You can type !help. A couple URLs will pop up. You can check out findahelpline.com, or you can check out the growing list of resources at takethis.org. We encourage you to check out these websites, bookmark them, save them for yourself, save them for a friend, and remember, you matter. With that, Cari, what time is it?
It's time to find some paths, bitches.
Also, Cari,
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you to tell us what happened in the last session. It was very Teera-centric.
Yes, indeed. So, there was a lot going on last time around. We had just defeated several of Teera's childhood enemies / family, and there was but one left, and it was Roniker, who was kind of the ringleader of their little band. Of course, with Flip's permission, they flew back to what's the name of the place again? What was the Warmouth? Ergland, yeah.
Warmouth was the part of town where all the orcs had a temple.
Yes. And so they went back, and knowing that they were kind of at a dead end, Teera called what is called a Vadakmund, which is essentially like a blood contest, and ended up battling and ultimately defeating Roniker and gaining the mantle of chieftain, which she promptly gave away to a younger member of the tribe who she felt was worthy and would do a good job leading them, because Teera has business elsewhere.
And what significant thing happened when Roniker was defeated?
Oh, well, it was You're gonna have to remind me. I'm missing what the quiz. I failed the quiz here.
Teera was offered to take over the mantle of tribe, but instead, a young girl had come forward who had served as a squire, essentially. I'm trying to find the paper that has her name on it. I can't find it.
Uloth. I had that written down.
But before sending you off, Uloth had ordered that one, Roniker's body be left to rot out in the desert.
Left in the sun.
But that Garm, the former tribal leader that you grew under, who Roniker was trying to raise from the dead, a special funeral pyre was lit, and Garm was given the honorable death send-off he deserved. Or you all took off to continue your journey eastward toward the Deadland, as it were, Graveland. And where we're going to pick up now, you should all have had time at this point to heal up, replenish your spells. Treat it as you would a full rest.
Nice.
Something you haven't had in a long time.
Goodness gracious.
Between the time you spent at Erglin for the final ceremonies and getting resupplied and then sent off, and the time that you're in the air, you still have nowhere near the amount of time you had what just seemed days ago. After spending time in the mountain, realizing that time was moving differently, you lost essentially 3 weeks worth of time while you were inside, meaning you only have about 4.5 days to get to where you're going, because you need to be in the Gravelands in time for the Blood Moon that happens only once every 10 years, so that when the Temple of the Black Lotus appears, you can claim the Black Lotus that you've been after all the time. Your journey has taken you northeast, continuing the path that you were on when you came across Erglin, to circumnavigate the Mindspin Mountains. Coming around the Mindspin Mountains, you'll basically swing around that, start heading eastward through Belskin, the Hold of Belskin, and then begin traveling east-southeast, flying into the Eye Red. During this time, you've had at least a full day to rest up and take care of any other things that you might take care of. It's worth noting that in this time, and while you were dealing with the issues at Warmouth and Erglin, that Marda has continued her vigil on the deck of the Zephyrhawk, having put herself in some sort of a trance to hold the Blood Axe at bay. The Blood Axe is still held in her grip, and you can see that where the thorns have pierced her hands and the vines are wending their way around and through her skin, the Blood Axe itself seems to almost be growing into the deck of the ship, as does Marda. These veins of energy that always seem to accompany her healing magic, they're growing into physical roots and vines, tethering her to the deck of the ship. And even now, she's beginning to look more plant than halfling, as sprouting from her shoulders and up from her spine are curved and twisted trunks and branches. And she's no longer able to verbally communicate with you, but she seems to be still alive and putting all of her energy into holding off the Blood Axe. Oh, and Kane's there too.
Oh yeah, he's there.
So at least on this first part, as you're traveling for, it's going to take you the better part of a day to kind of make your way across the desert, up around the horn of the Mindspin Mountains as you start to swing through the Hold of Belskin. Are there any conversations that you want to have with each other, with Kane, or anything else you want to do on the journey?
Teera would kind of be pretty quiet for like the first like several hours after when they're in the air. And then after a little while she kind of starts to come out of her shell a little bit more, and as her couple of scrapes and dings from this fight have already kind of started to heal, and she goes over to Flip and she's like, Flip, have you ever heard of this Black Lotus? Do you know anything about it in all your travels, in your songs, in your infinite wisdom?
Tara, that's a damn good question. Let me think on this for a second. And Flip is gonna look up, not into the sun because that's not how Flip rolls. But he's gonna make a check of some kind. What kind of check can he make?
This, I think, would fall into your bardic lore.
Bardic lore. Okay, great. Okay. Just looking at all of my shit here that we haven't. Okay. Yes. Okay, remembering that Flip is a know-it-all.
Obviously.
Yeah, let's
I
roll.
didn't need a character sheet to tell me that.
Ah!
Well, did I say that out loud?
Sure did.
Flip is going to use a tome.
Oh boy.
Oh wait. Yeah, that is 26.
Damn.
26. You've heard the legends of the Temple of the Black Lotus.
I've heard the legends of the Temple of the Black Lotus.
It is an ancient temple that is protected by the lunar magic of Blood Moon. It only appears on this plane once every 10 years. So that the Black Lotus itself can finish the final phase of its maturity by bathing in the light of the blood moon, at which point it will reach its full magical potency.
Yeah, there's like a thing, and then the blood moon, and then it bathes itself in the whatever of the blood moon, and it reaches its full potency, and only happens every 10 years, and that's why you have to pick it at that time, because if it's impotent, then it's not really useful to anybody. Just kind of limply sits there. Nobody wants a limp flower.
Oh, I suppose they don't. Isn't it supposed to like be able to bring somebody back from the dead?
Uh-huh.
With that
That's a great
26, with that 26, that is enough for you to know that the petals of the Black Lotus, the reason they are often so sought after and why it is guarded so fiercely, is because it essentially functions like a wish. It allows you to bring somebody back from the dead. It allows you to accomplish some feat that you might not otherwise be able to do. Mechanically speaking, it would function like the wish spell, allowing you to replicate any other spell.
It's a very powerful magic. Can do a whole bunch of things. As I'm sitting here, there might be more than one petal even. So you might not even have to choose which friend you want to bring back. Whether you want to bring back your boy toy, Board, or that other guy you lost, Togo, or now it seems like Marta might be lost to the Blood Axe as well. Really, it seems unfortunate that 3 members out of the... How many people have been in your party? Let's count. There's The
Flip,
cavern
I would
elf,
rather not count if you don't
the
mind.
tall guy, Vorn,
Doc,
um,
Vorn,
Vorn, yeah, Vornushka,
Wanushka,
Marta,
Togo,
Tog,
Marda.
right? Yeah, yeah. So it's like more than 50% of the people who have departed your party have done so due to the blood axe.
And Teera gives a scornful look over to where Marta is sitting and the blood axe in her kind of tree-like grip. And she sort of like looks back at Flip, impressed at his clairvoyance that she has been feeling torn and conflicted about if we only get one frickin' wish, how best to use it. And then she kind of shrugs and she would just say, what if we do have to make a choice? How can you choose something like that?
The choice is easy. We save my daughter.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
I mean, you say, of course, like it's a mathematical certainty, like 1 + 1 = 2. Hate to be the voice of reason again, but there's a lot more that goes into the calculus than just who does what and daughters and dead friends. I mean, look, sometimes you have to leave well enough alone. And if it's true that your friend Vorn, had his soul sucked and is in some sort of black void somewhere and living a perpetual existence of terror and torment and despair, yeah, maybe you would want to, I don't know, bring him out of that. But I feel like maybe, trying to figure out what's what, because what if he isn't? What if he's just fine, happily living in Pharasma's bosom? I don't know. Look, if a goddess said, hey, Flip, you want to come get up in my bosom? Flip probably going to say, yeah.
Yeah. Flip, you're not exactly helping. This is a really tough decision and I don't know how to make it. And Kane, I understand. I understand. It's just difficult.
Well, it
Me and
shouldn't be
Vaughn-
difficult anyway. He said it's a flower. It's got petals.
Well, I hope he's right.
You can have a petal for Vaughn. I'll take a petal for my daughter. And Flip, you probably have something you want. I just care about protecting my daughter from the Frost Witches, from our mother, of my mother. Beyond
No
that,
decision
I don't care
worth
what
making.
you do.
No decision worth making is going to be easy. Life is sacrifice. At least so I'm told. I usually get whatever I want. I am a bit of a delight. People usually do what I say.
Yeah.
So I recognize it's somewhat hypocritical to talk about, making sacrifices when I don't have to make them, but, it's entirely possible that the blood lotus or whatever might only bloom with one petal. Or by the time we get there, its guardians have harvested the petals for some other goal. We don't know. But the fact is, the thing that you have to remember is that is a problem for another day. We can only look to what we can control. We can't control random magical flower petals. So we don't try. When we get there, we'll figure it out. And by we, I mean you, because I really want no part in this devil's bargain you got going on here.
Well, you're in this whether you like it or not, Flip.
I mean, I'm here, but I'm not here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess.
Well, you say it may be a problem for another day. We don't have a lot more days to be pushing this off.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have to deal with it. If it comes down to sacrifice, I will lay down my life. It means protecting my daughter.
Nobody's gonna ask you to do that. You won't have to do that. I know it.
I mean, he might have to do it.
Shut up, Flip.
Don't tell me to shut. It's completely not outside of the realm of possibility.
I know it's not.
Then we're having a forthright, honest discussion. Marta's growing into the deck of my ship, and you're beating around the bush about Kane maybe having to sacrifice himself. Like, let's put our
Flip. There's a non-zero chance that you fly us all straight into a fucking mountain. But you don't hear me bitching about that, do you?
As you say that, Teera, the
God,
entire
shut
ship
up.
lurches.
God,
And I need I need everybody to make
it's like Star Trek, like
exactly. I need everybody to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh God.
I assume you meant reflex.
Reflex?
Yes, sorry.
And
I knew when I said
36.
it wasn't right. Yes, a reflex saving throw.
Oh, Teera got a 32. It's very stable.
Kane got a 27. Did Flip save or
36.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear that. I was waiting for you to say something. And what'd you get, Teera?
32.
So, the two of you, without having to take a whole lot of precautions, grabbing or whatever, you basically kind of move with the ship sort of lurching under your feet. Kane was in the process of taking a few strides over to you, and he gets thrown sideways and just manages to grab hold of the one of the branches that is Marta.
Oh God, a Marta branch. Uh-oh.
Yeah. We just need to see if we I need him to make a saving throw.
Oh God.
15 plus he's 35. You see that as Kane grabs hold of this branch that's sprouting up from Marta's shoulder, he steadies himself from further flailing about, but you also see that he suddenly, for a moment, he goes pale and he looks very nauseous, like he's and he kind of pushes off from the branch and kind of staggers away from it. I don't know what that was all about.
Well, you grabbed Marta's wood. Obviously, that ain't good for anyone. What's wrong with you? It's creepy and has weird green veins on it. Like, how do you expect that that's going to help you?
It
What
kept me from
happened?
falling over the edge, but
I don't know. What did happen?
What happened?
as far as the, don't touch that. Any part of it You can see that he's starting to recover. Color is rapidly returning. More importantly, what was that? As he's looking around to see what caused the ship to lurch.
Teera goes over to the edge, like the railing, and would be like looking down and looking over and around.
So the first thing you will all notice, without any need for a perception check, you're in the open air of a ship looking down over the railing. Below you, you can no longer see the ground a couple thousand feet below. Instead, you see roiling gray clouds. And some of them are starting to rise up on either side of you, and you can even see ahead of you where some are towering hundreds, if not thousands of feet above, like thunderheads, like storm clouds. You don't see anything. And then suddenly there's another slam and the ship lurches hard to the side, and I need another reflex save.
Ooh. Ooh, I'm definitely gonna need a tome, please. Tome me. Tome me, Blazer. Oh my god! One more. That's it, I swear to God. Jesus Christ.
25.
34. For the record, I rolled 2 nat 1s in a row. In case anybody's curious, thank you for the tomes.
I guess see what
I had it in my head that I wasn't going to use any intentionally to spite Gary. Unfortunately, that would mean I would die. So
there's a 26 for Kane, a 25 for Flip, and 30 what?
34.
34. Teera, you managed to hold on tight to the railing as you feel like you're almost about to just, when you get hit, like it's almost causes you to just pitch right over it, like you're almost as if you were vaulting. Glancing back, you see Kane, who was staggering back away from where he had stumbled into Marta. When the ship lurches, he goes flying backwards and slams into Flip, sending both of them hurtling toward the railing.
Oh God. Can I
Flip?
try to make? Oh God.
You got the lore of the two of you. Kane makes a reflexively reaches back, and with a 16 on the die, that's a 34.
So reflexive.
Flip. I imagine it plays out like this. As he slams into you, he sort of knocks you away from him and sends you hurtling towards the railing. He instinctively calls out Flip, which causes your cloak to billow. And when it billows, it allows him to grab hold of your cloak.
Oh my God.
You see now, Flip, you're kind of... But that only lasts for a second because both of you failed the initial save as the ship lurches with Kane holding tight onto Flip's cloak. Kane and Flip go over the edge.
Can I reach over? Can I try to snatch him or no?
So you went specifically to the railing.
Yeah.
And they were away from you, so you can't just immediately they're not going over like right next to you.
Oh, okay.
But they're going over.
Oh my God.
You don't you're not close enough to just instantly try to grab hold of them.
To try to reach out,
but
okay.
They are now over the edge.
Shit. Teera runs over to that side and looks over, see if maybe Kane caught him.
Kane caught Flip and is holding on, and the two of them are going.
They're going down
through
the air.
Over the edge.
Jesus
falling.
Christ! Teera runs to the fucking steering wheel and just fucking wants to take the ship straight fucking down at them. I want to try to catch him in the air. I don't know what the fuck else to do. Wait a minute. Yes, I do. Jesus Christ. I'm going to jump over the side and use my fucking wings. I
I feel
forgot
like
about
both
my
Gary
fucking
and I
wings.
were going, this is not what we thought you were going to do.
I was looking at you two like, what the fuck else do you want me to do? I forgot I had wings. Okay, here I go. Teera dives over the side like fucking Superman and just straight face first down
So,
into the
I picture
clouds.
this like as you see them go over the railing. It takes you a second, like you said, you start to go towards the wheel, like you're
Are
gonna.
you imagining the scene in Point Break? Because
And
that's what I'm picturing.
Probably not.
Keanu Reeves.
And then all of a sudden you look and you just run towards the edge, and the camera follows you as we hear you do do do. And you dive over the edge, and the camera follows. What does it look like as your wings suddenly appear out of nowhere?
So I imagine Teera is like, somehow she's pretty disciplined about this, and she like latches her arms down in, and she goes like straight down for a couple, whatever, 100 feet like a spear, and then she like spins almost, and her wings just kind of like unfurl like almost like a parachute would, catching the wind, and they just all of a sudden go huge and dark and start to catch the wind. As she's like looking through this, can she still see the two of them?
Oh yeah, you had perfect view, and
Okay.
they're less aerodynamic because Kane has a hold of Flip's cloak, which is
Flailing.
probably billowing as he's going flip, flip, flip. He keeps saying Flip's name, and this cloak just keeps, which is causing Flip to sort of like flap around on the end of this thing.
She's
Um,
chatting.
Flip. Okay. Okay. Flip is gonna see Teera diving off his ship, and he's gonna see, what's his name panicking, and Flip is calm as a cucumber, and he's like, I know it seems like it was, I don't know, 8 months ago, but we were in this exact situation like 3 days ago. Okay? Like, everybody calm down. Okay? Flip is going to gently touch Kane. He's going to cast Fly on Kane. And then he's going to ride Kane like a sleigh back up to his ship. So I'm going to use my thievery skill, because I'm nimble and dexterous, to guide him. I'm gonna mush him up to the ship. Okay? So that's what Flip is doing. And as they're going up, he's gonna look at Teera like,
As they're on their way back up, I imagine Teera's still pretty quickly on her way down. You just see, whoop, you just see like a blue blur.
all right, so I'm mushing Kane for
I
20.
think in the few moments before you swing fully around and get control and start to steer Kane, there's probably this moment where, because you're in the air and you're in these clouds are all around, there's really no sense of scale for how high up you are or anything at this point. After the spell's cast, Kane is still flailing about like this, like he's falling. And he's like, do something! Do something! Why are you climbing on me? And then all of a sudden Teera just goes, and then he kind of looks around and realizes, wait a minute.
They're not
Flip
falling.
is just going to whisper into his ear, just say, fly, you fool!
I imagine Kane, even with you steering him, Kane flies a lot like the Greatest American Hero. Very much like flying and then occasionally just going, this is not something I was meant to do. And you see...
Meanwhile, as he gains control, Teera flaps up, just looking pissed off, and be like, are you both okay?
No, I'm not
Yeah,
okay.
everything is fine. Everything is completely fine.
No, it's not. Kane is
It's fine.
flying like this, trying to get up to the ship.
That is not how magic works, Kane.
It makes me feel better. And now he's like,
I'm embarrassed for everyone in this situation, especially myself. I ask myself sometimes when I'm writing in my journal and trying to come up with ideas for my next book, I ask, how did I get here? Which god did I offend with my beauty, grace, and charm that I should end up in this ill-begotten fate? I ask you, what have I done to deserve it? I say thee nay. Nay, I say thee. Nay.
Teera kind of like looks below her, and this is the first time as she's listening to Flip kind of drone on, she realizes that she's been still and listening and in the air, and she's like kind of weirdly comfortable with these wings all of a sudden. And all of a sudden she like looks down and looks around and then looks back up at where the ship is and realizes they're just like in midair. And she decides to like almost have a little fun and try to like dive and come back up and see what she can see in the air.
Flip is gonna ask Kane as he's mushing him upward. Did she always have wings?
no. Not that I'm aware of.
When did she get wings?
I don't know. They could have happened anytime between the weird demon forces on that bridge, or that dam somewhere in the icy caves dealing with the dead golem of our father.
And you hear like an echoey woo-hoo from way down below as it sounds like Teera's on a distant roller coaster.
For all I know, she found him in the hold of your ship.
Deep sigh. Flip says out loud.
I would like perception checks. Teera, you're going to have a -2 circumstance penalty because you are
Because I'm having fun.
woohooing.
I'm enjoying myself. Shame on you. This is the first time Teera's been happy in fucking months.
So,
-2.
33.
I got a 26. Still.
And Flip.
29.
So, with a 33, Aiden sees this first. Teera, you don't really notice it yet. But as he stops flailing around like he's trying to swim through the air, and he seems to more or less kind of be doing this.
Stabilize.
And then suddenly he kind of glances up and he tries to do this. Even though this doesn't actually do anything, him willing himself to stop ascending does. And the two of you are just sort of floating there as he points up. Do you see that? And he points up to the Zephyr Hawk. And when he points to it, you see it flip. Next to the Zephyr Hawk, the only reason you think you're able to even see it is because you're looking from above, or rather from below, and there's dark clouds that are sort of behind it, up above it. You see the ghostly spectral outlines of another airship pulled right alongside the Zephyr Hawk. It has its style is completely different than the Zephyr Hawk. This one has the looks more along the lines of like a sailing ship, but it has you can see where the masts rise up. There's tattered sails that are just sort of flapping in the breeze. It looks like there's holes in the hull but every aspect of this ship straight up looks like one of those glowing ghost ships in Sea of Thieves.
Oh shit!
And it is
I gotta be
tethered to your ship.
Oh god! I gotta be honest. Ghost Sky Pirates was not on my bingo card. Does Teera see this? Did I make the check?
What did you get again?
26.
26?
26.
I think it takes you a couple moments as Flip and Kane are kind of looking up, figuring out what to do. When you eventually fly up alongside, you'll notice it as well.
Oh god. I fly back down to the guys and I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Obviously, it's a ship, Teera.
Oh, Flip, don't be obtuse. I know it's a fucking ship, but it's like invisible. And it looks all busted the shit.
If it was invisible,
Yeah.
we wouldn't be able to see it.
It's oh my god. It's opaque.
I mean, if everybody around you, Teera, is obtuse, you should be asking questions. You should look in the mirror and ask questions about yourself.
All right, I'm gonna go fight everybody up there. How you like that?
You want to go fight everybody? Let's go fight everybody.
Yep, I
Fine
do.
with
Let's
me.
fucking go.
Okay, fine.
Teera like
So
freaking bursts up.
Flip is going to he's gonna mush Kane upward. And his eyes are going to crackle with lightning.
So, as he starts to move upward, he just glances over his shoulder at you. Now we're all just rushing in blindly to danger like Teera. This'll go well.
I mean, what is the other option? Were we going to talk about it?
We don't know what's up there.
To be fair, so Teera said that in a huff, but that's like it's like a two siblings fighting. And what she does is she gets up to like so if like the ghost ship is here and the Zephyr Hawk is here, Teera gets up to this side and like kind of perches Assassin's Creed style on the edge and then just kind of like
Of the Zephyr
wants to
Hawk?
peek.
Or the
Yes.
ghost ship? Okay.
The Zephyr Hawk and wants to peek up over onto the deck of the Zephyr Hawk to see if she can see
All
what's
right,
going on.
so a Flip is going to mush Kane up onto the deck of the ship. And he's going to use prestidigitation to project the volume of his voice. And he's going to hold on to something that's not Marta's veiny wood. And he's going to say, "Hey, jackass! Why are you tethered to my ship? Answer me now, or face my wrath. You have 18 seconds, which sounds like a very random number, but I promise you, it was very specifically chosen."
Divisible by 3. It's a great number.
As you steer Kane in to land, I just did an athletics check for Kane. He got a 29. Kane manages to actually turn this into a pretty it looks like in I can't think of the name of the movie, but the Kate Beckinsale vampire movie. When she steps off the edge of the building and just lands like 30 stories down without so much as flexing her knees, that's how Kane manages to land. He just and is immediately ready as Flip is yelling out in this booming voice. You see that there are 4 ghostly pirates that are already starting to rummage around on the deck. At least one of them is kind of
my ship?
Yes, looking around curiously at Marta. Another one is up by the ship's wheel, and another one is starting to poke at some of the boxes of supplies and kind of peeking around. They're very much looking like Tusken Raiders picking apart at a ship at this point. They figured you guys jumped off, it's theirs. So they do startle when you first call out. And then one of them steps forward. By the laws of the sea and the air, this ship is ours now.
And Flip is gonna summon a lightning bolt on him.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, then we're gonna roll for initiative.
Teera has since hopped up onto the deck. If that's, can I do that before initiative?
Yes, it's
Okay.
very much to set the scene. It is just starting to rain, and when you started to have your eyes sort of crackle a bit there, Flip, it was echoed in the sky. There are arcs of lightning in the sky. You're in the midst of a storm. Let's see. Kane has a Flip. Okay, Flip, what'd you get?
Oh, right. It's okay. It's a perception check, right?
Yeah.
19.
All right. And then oh. Teera, what is your dex modifier?
My dex mod is a +4.
Okay. Okay, it's going to be okay. One of the pirates, ghost pirates, is going to go first, followed by Kane, then Flip, then another one of the ghost pirates who has we'll call him the captain. He definitely seems to be in charge.
He's got the biggest,
and
fanciest hat.
Teera last.
Okay.
Surprisingly, no, he doesn't have a big hat. What he does have is what looks like one of those long sort of pirate coats, but it's sleeveless. And he has, where he has muscle, and not bone, it's rippling muscles. But he's not. It's actually the other 3 ghost pirates that are going to go first, as they. The ghost captain just looks and says, as your lightning bolt is starting to form, "Oh, they want to challenge us then? Let's take care of them." And one is going to go at each of you as they call out.
All right, bitches.
A hearty yell. They are going to go flying. Each one of them is going to fly at you and past you. Flip. That is a 24 to hit.
That is a miss.
As he flies through, when I say he flies through your space, he's literally flying through you. And as he does so, he's going to take a second attack. You are flat-footed, but it is irrelevant because I rolled a natural.
Oh, suck it, ghost.
What a way to start my ghostly combat.
Amazing.
Let's see. So that was with a melee strike. This ghost, as it flies through you, Flip, flies a little too close to the Marta tree and actually gets tangled up in the branches. And this ghost has to spend 2 interact actions on its next turn to free itself. The one that flies at Teera is going to do the same thing. It's going to attempt to fly through you. That is a 27 to hit.
Ah, shit. My AC is 27, so
that'll be a hit. You will take 5, 7, 8, 19 negative damage, and you're flat-footed for the second strike that he's going to make, which is a -2 to your AC. So his second strike is, I think it's going to miss because of the -5 penalty, because it's a 27, so it's 22.
That does not hit.
So even with your flat-footed, you miss.
Yep.
And then the third one goes flying at Kane. Gets a 26 to hit. Kane has a 27 AC, so he misses. Still going to make a second strike. That is 29 to hit. And Kane is down to a 25 AC. So Kane's going to get hit for 4, 6, and 21 negative damage. It is Kane's turn. Kane is going to immediately respond, attacking at this guy. I
don't know what to do.
Ooh, that is a 40.
Oh my god!
Rolled a 19 on the die.
Suck it, ghost.
I'm just checking its AC is 26, so that's definitely a critical hit.
Woo!
There's a critical thing for his hammer.
Oh
Check.
my god.
Right.
While Jake checks the critical thing for Kane's hammer, check us out on teespring.com. At teespring.com, you can get great t-shirts for whatever class you play in D&D and other such games. You can also get some Paradise, Michigan merch and so much more. You can get it on tank tops, hoodies, mugs, and all kinds of other good stuff. Teespring.com. Just search Mini Terrain Domain.
So, on this critical hit, in addition to taking the effects of a critical hit, this ghost suddenly becomes fascinated by Kane. And
awesome.
you see a the target is stunned 2, but it is also fascinated, which means that it is means that it is compelled to focus its attention on Kane, distracting from whatever else is going on around it. Takes a -2 penalty to perception and skill checks. Can't concentrate unless its actions are related to the subject of its fascination. Basically, you see this ghost pirate as Kane hits it. It kind of recovers from the strike, looking at where it got hit, and then looking at Kane with awe, and you see this ghost begin to weep.
At the spectacle of him.
And that's in addition to the fact that it is
Ghost tears. Hashtag ghost tears.
it loses 2 actions as well because it's stunned 2. And it takes damage on this thing is 3d8 plus 7 doubled. So that's 2, 6, 7, 15, 30 points of damage to this ghost. And Kane is going to take advantage of this and attempt to strike this ghost one more time. This
Amazing.
time dealing definitely a hit. It's 34. Not a crit. That's going to be 8, And 3, so that's 19 plus 7, so another 26 points.
Damn.
And this ghost, every time Kane hits it, it just seems to weep more. For the third attack, at 29 becomes 18. Ghost. Okay, the third one does not hit. Flip. It is your turn.
Go get him.
Okay. So I will start by lightning bolting the captain.
Okay.
Reflex save, please.
Get him.
Let's see. That's a 16 on the die, so that's a 35.
Okay, so he takes half. So 15 lightning damage. And then Flip is going to look at him, and he's going to point, and he's going to say, "Go back to the grave, Ghost Man!" And a ray of chromatic energy springs forth from his fingertips, hitting AC 28.
Awesome.
AC 25.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh, that's great. Another 50 points of electricity.
Oh, shit.
The clouds ripple around them as the electricity takes hold. And
Right, how much
Yeah.
damage was that?
50.
Of electricity.
Yeah.
If
Mm-hmm.
the electricity definitely is coursing through him, but you see that he is dissipating some of it.
Okay. I'm done.
It is his turn. As the lightning is still sort of crackling, he is going to, almost like he's throwing the lightning as it's running down his well-muscled arms. He just sort of goes like this. And the lightning seems to go down, the arms dissipating into the deck as he comes charging towards you, Flip. And he is going to attack you with a flurry of blows.
Sure.
So that is going to be 24 and a 36 to hit.
36 will hit.
So that's going to be 7, 12, 24 negative damage from that hit.
Uh-huh.
And then see that one. And then he is going to cry, look like he's just crying out towards the sky. This sort of ghostly moan. As he does so, all of this loose debris from things that aren't fully tied down on the ship, things that they were, like, as they were going through your supplies, things begin to swirl around and fly, and I need everybody to make a reflex save.
Including them?
Does a creature. So, yes. So, reflex saves all around. Let's see.
Dirty 20 for me.
Dirty 20 for you. Kane gets
I got
also
a 20
dirty
as well.
20. You got a 22.
22.
Shit.
22.
Wow.
You got
I
a
used the tone.
22, not a 20 also.
A 20. You got a 22. TWO.
Let's see. 25 and 20. So that is going to be. So everybody that failed, which is everybody except for the ghost captain, including the ghosts, are going to take 9, 10, 15, 18 points of bludgeoning damage from all the crap flying around.
Sorry, who takes that, Jake?
Everybody but the captain.
Okay.
So then
How many was that? 18?
18.
18.
All right. Teera,
Okay.
it is your turn.
Okay. Is there one like right nearby me?
The Zephyr
What's
Hawk's
that
not very
pointing to-
big, so they're all fairly close. One of the ghosts is currently entangled in the in Marta's branches.
Flip is pointing to the captain.
Okay. I would try to attack the captain. So I imagine I get over to him with one of my actions.
Mhm.
I'm going to attack him with my second action, with my sword. Here I go.
Actually, you wouldn't have to do that.
Oh.
Because each of the original ghosts engaged with you. So he's engaged with you. You don't have to use an action to get to him.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Then I attack him with this action, and I get a 31 to hit.
You're attacking the captain. 31 is a hit.
Nice. Okay, here I go. Ooh. Sorry. Oh, Jesus. I gotta do math. Hold on. My light fucking went out. It's a whole goddamn carnival of horrors over here. Alrighty. That is 44 points of normal damage plus, if it counts, 4 more points of cold damage. So that's 48 points total.
48 total damage to the captain.
Mm-hmm.
You see that while he takes most of this damage, you do see that he's managing to sort of basically resist some degree of this damage. So he's not taking all of it.
Okay.
But he's hurting.
I want to try to attack him again. Here I go with the -5. Ugh, that's a 23 to hit him.
That's gonna miss.
Okay, one
This
last
time,
one. Here I
as
go.
you swing at him with that one, he just takes your and he doesn't even move. He just pushes your sword blade out of the way.
Okay, that's bullshit. You know what I'm gonna do instead of attacking one more time? I'm gonna rage with my last action.
Okay.
And then that'll be freaking locked and loaded for the next round.
That is the end of the first round. I would
Just see
like
fury light in Teera's eyes as he freaking pushes her sword away.
Cari, for you to roll me a d10.
Okay, here I go. 6.
As you finish this attack and you go into a rage, as if adding an exclamation point, or in this case several explanation points, lightning arcs from the clouds and begins to strike all around the deck. I need everybody to make reflex saves, including my goats.
Oh my god.
The captain gets a 31. The ghosts get 6, 7. That is a critical fail. How'd you two do?
I got a 30.
35.
Right? Where's my D? So this is an environmental effect. Everybody failed. And one of them critically failed. So the one that critically failed is also blinded and deafened for this round.
Damn. 30
18.
failed. Shit.
22, 24, 29 points of electrical damage.
Oh my god.
And it's at 29, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm having to do my own math over here. Okay. The captain's in really bad shape as this lightning strikes him.
Yes.
Kane is Kane's still doing good. We're back at the top of the round, and it's the ghosts. The ghost that is caught in the tree. Is going to right thing. As that ghost is attempting to maneuver, that is the one that was also struck with blindness and deafness. You see that whatever ghostly eyes it had are just like exploded and running down its face. Some kind of like ectoplasm's running down where its ears were. And you can't tell if this ghost is struggling against the branches or the branches are pulling at this ghost. This ghost 10, 17, 25, 35. This ghost gets ripped in basically by these branches. It gets drawn and quartered.
Oh my god.
That ghost has been ripped apart.
Nice.
The ghost that you are engaged with, Teera, is going to get a 23 to hit.
Does not hit me.
Then it hits with a 30.
That does hit.
As it's swinging its ghostly cutlass, you're going to take 6, 7, 8, 19 points of negative damage.
Shit, man.
And then a 26, I believe, misses you.
Hold on, I gotta double check because I'm raging. I gotta see if it affects my AC. I think it does. -1, that makes me at a 20. I am at a 26. What did you say he got?
He got a 26. So you're going to take
Oh,
another 20 points
Shit.
of negative damage.
God damn.
Well, plus with whatever. Well, you don't have resistance to negative damage, do you?
I don't. I just have resist. I think I have overall resistance. I can double check that.
All right, and then the final ghost. The final ghost is fascinated by Kane, and is still continuing to weep as it stares at him. Which takes us to Kane, who's going to attempt to finish it with a 28 hit. Kane's just looking at this ghost. Stop staring at me! And he's just bashing at it with this hammer. He's gonna take another strike at it. That's gonna be 34, be 29 to hit. And then a third one would be third one won't hit. The first one will. So that's gonna be 6, 10, 18, 24, 28, 32, 42, 45. And that one. King, basically, you just see him start swinging. Stop staring at me! Stop staring at me! And he's just bashing at this thing until he, like, knocks its ghostly head off. He knocks the bones apart.
Yes.
And then you just see, as he hits one arm, the spectral cutlass just goes right at your feet, Teera. As
Cool.
Keen takes out the one that was fascinated by him. So that's another one out. Flip, it is your turn. Captain is in bad shape, and there is one ghost left.
Okay.
Besides him.
Reflex save, please, from the captain.
Oh boy.
That is going to be math 20, 37.
Okay, so the captain takes 14 lightning.
That is exactly what you needed. He had 101.
Oh.
He has 115 hit points.
So as
Oh.
Flip's eyes glow, he summons the lightning bolt down, and he looks at the captain, and as his ghostly eyes recognize that his incorporeal existence is about to come to an end, Flip whispers to him so that the last words he hears before he winks out of existence is, "My ship."
Oh my god. What a fucking alpha move, dude.
Wow.
Badass.
And then he's going to direct a finger at the other ghost, and he's going to send a ray of energy toward it, and hitting AC 35.
That'll hit.
What's its AC?
30?
It's the ghost's AC is 30.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, why?
Okay, just seems high. Okay.
It's not
Very
a regular
powerful
ghost.
ghosts.
Oh, sorry. I looked at the wrong feature. This ghost's AC is 26.
26. Okay.
Yeah.
What's
You were right to
AC
be
is 30?
skeptical, because even I was like, wait a minute.
The captain.
That's
probably.
that's Marta's
Oh,
current form is
phew,
AC
okay.
30.
I was like, what the fuck else
No,
is on this ship that we don't know about?
I looked at the wrong stat block.
Right.
30 points of fire to the remaining ghost.
3 points of fire.
As a beam of chromatic energy spins in the air and washes over the ghost's near incorporeal form with a flame of primal
Some
energy.
of the flame that hits it turns into the spectral green flame as it seems to absorb it. The rest of it stays in counterpoint as this bright orange flame, and it takes a moment trying to like thrash about. It is still standing, but you've burned it. If that's your turn,
It is.
it's going to go to Teera because the ghost captain is dead.
Badass. I want to attack the only one left.
That's the one that just was lit on fire.
Great. Do I have to move to get to him or no?
To that one you do have to move to, yes.
Okay. So I will move to get to him. And I think, okay. Amazing. All right, here I go. That is a 34 to hit him.
It's a hit.
Right. Here I go. 29 plus is 40 points of damage plus another additional 5 points of cold damage. That's 45 total.
As you strike this ghost, and your sword cuts through him. He resists some of the damage and kind of looks up at you. And then that's when the cold damage starts to ripple across his form, and he goes, "Oh no!"
He says, "Oh no!"
The ghost form starts to crystallize into ice, and I need you guys to make 4 saves, because I forgot to do it when the other ones died.
Oh my God.
What kind of saves?
You're going to be making let me find it. That's going to be a will save.
Oof. Okay.
So Kane, let's see.
We each need to make 4?
Yes.
Okay.
Kane gets a 32, a 23, 26, and a 32.
Jesus.
I need to
God
know
damn
if
it.
any of
Fucking
them
A, I knew
are,
that would...
I need to know if any and how many are 24 or below.
I have 1 that's 24 or below.
I also have.
I have 1 that's 24 or below.
Each of you, including Kane, each one of you is afflicted there it is. Each one of you is afflicted with the Mariner's Curse.
What is that?
Until the curse is removed, the ghosts know exactly where you are. Until you are cured of the curse, or you permanently destroy the ghost.
Oh, so they're not permanently destroyed.
And actually, one thing needs to be resolved. Cari, roll me a d10.
Mm-hmm. 1.
As the rain continues to fall, it actually picks up in intensity. And I need the 3 of you to make reflex saves.
Ugh.
37.
31.
It is 32. All 3 of us fail as acid rain falls from the sky.
Ooh.
The storm is beginning to lighten up a bit. 4, 8, 10, 15, 24, 31 points of acid damage.
Oh God, Teera is hurting for certain folks.
Kane is currently... He's still halfway decent. He's at 99 lost
Is there a
HP.
below deck of this ship?
Yes, there is. But as the storm is dissipating and the spectral images of the ghosts begin to, especially as the acid rain almost seems to be dissolving and washing away their ectoplasmic forms, the last thing to dissolve of the captain is its skull as it looks up from the deck of the ship at you, Flip, and says, "My ship." And the spectral ship that has been tethered next to your ship, from this angle you can see that this ghost ship, its hull seems to be not so much made up of planks of wood but bones. It's still ghostly and spectral, but the whole thing is just made up of bones. And as the dying captain says, "My ship," the bones begin to rearrange themselves on this other ship. The central mast, some of the bones begin to reach, sort of form into almost like a giant hand, grab the central mast and break it away. The ghost ship is transforming basically into, no, that doesn't count. That was just a
Yes, it most
hand at the end of an arm. A hand grabbing a sword is not hand stuff.
Okay.
As it grabs hold of this mast and it begins to transform itself into a giant ghostly skeleton with components of ship, it is going to take this massive mast, wielding it like a sword, and it's going to bring it down, passing through the Zephyrhawk.
Okay, just to clarify, how long does this process take?
I mean, it's like a Transformers movie. The camera's moving all around as it's going.
I only ask because I have 8 rounds of lightning left, and I will just unload 80 D12 on it. On the
It's not
ghost
going to
ship.
take that many rounds. I'll say it takes.
I'm just asking.
You
like
can,
how many D12s can I put into the ship?
I'll let you put 2 rounds of lightning attacks into the ship.
Okay.
And it's not going to save against it. It's just going to take the damage.
Great.
Because its whole thing is... And I'll even say that as this lightning is striking, it's striking the mast that it's raising up like a big... Almost looks like an axe, quite frankly.
Is it critically failing then? Because it's not saving?
What happens if a critical fails?
I mean, the damage is doubled.
Sure. Go for it.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks something.
So 66 from the first hit.
Okay. Oh no.
And I'm gonna use a tome.
Attaboy. Go get it. You attack that ship.
I'll tell you why I'm laughing.
And 48.
So 66 and 48 is what?
114.
104.
14.
Which one?
114.
14.
114.
Okay.
One of us is a math teacher.
It just took me a second. I'm off the clock.
It does resist 10 of that. And looking to see. Definitely good on HP, but I was looking to see if this thing has damage threshold. Irrelevant at this point. The reason I was laughing is I was doing this sort of as a flavor thing, because when the mast axe passes through your ship, the Zephyrhawk begins rapidly losing altitude.
Okay.
But the reason I was laughing is I looked up ship just because I wanted to be fair and find an appropriate ship so that I could see if your lightning actually destroyed it. And the first thing that came up was a bone ship. I did not even plan for that. There's an actual Pathfinder bone ship. I should have known
Bone ship
that it would be there. I just liked the idea
Incredible.
of this was a throwback to Dreadful Tales with the windmill. So yeah, you did do a quarter of its health to damage, I'll tell you that. But
Damn.
as
Okay.
it passes this blade through the ship, your ship begins to lose altitude. It doesn't just like start doing a flat spin. It kind of begins to nosedive.
Oh.
And rapidly losing altitude, leaving this bone ship floating in the sky behind.
Oh, man.
As it takes this giant mast and throws it up onto its shoulder, and with its other hand, still doesn't count as hand stuff, it just waves. As you are rapidly losing altitude, you are going to... We are no longer in initiative.
Shit.
But the three of you now need to get control of the ship and control your descent as you are rapidly plummeting through the clouds.
Flip. What do you need? What do we need to do?
I mean, arrest the descent?
How?
I mean, that's a great question. What am I, a fucking wizard?
It's your ship. You brag about it all the time.
Flip will make an Arcana check.
All right.
Oh, 22.
That is a fail. As you're trying to wrestle control, a piece of the railing, one of these loose crates goes flying, sliding across the deck, slams into the railing, and shatters part of the railing. This is essentially a skill check. So, Kane and Teera, what are you doing to help?
I mean, this thing flies on magical energy, right?
Does.
Okay. I mean, I guess Teera would go to the frickin' wheel. She would go to the helm and try to, like...
I believe that's where Flip is. So you're going to essentially try to help Flip?
Yes. A little muscle into it, maybe.
Okay. Kane is going to... I need to see if Kane would think of those, because this is what I know I'm thinking.
All you're seeing, I will have you know that Tamiko agrees with me that all of the ghost ship shit was definitely #hand stuff.
Incorrect. That's not hand. Just because
Wrong.
it uses a hand is not hand stuff. It depends on how it's using the hand.
Fair.
Fair. All right, so let's see. Kane's intelligence. Kane is going to kind of look like he wants to move towards the wheel where you guys are. And as he starts to run towards you, Teera, you see him get this look comes over his face. And he instead turns towards Marta. And he runs to in front of where Marta is. All right. I want both Teera and Flip to make Arcana checks. You have piloting lore, you can do it. Or you can
30.
use crafting or nature. Arcana, crafting, nature, or piloting lore can be used.
30.
Nature, I got a 31.
Okay. That counts. So you have one failure and one success now, as you are wrestling against this. Kane is going to use this round to attempt. Let's see, skill here. I think nature would make sense. Kane is an expert in nature. As he attempts to appeal to Marta's new form. That is a 19 plus a 16 is 35, which beats Marta's new form's will.
Ooh, hell yeah.
28. Kane grabs hold, and you see that he is taking some damage. Can't tell the nature of it. But as he grabs hold of Marta's form, you see some of these roots, vines, basically wrap around his arms. But as he's staring at Marta, and what he's saying is getting lost in the wind, but you watch as some of these tendrils of vines and roots wend their way along the deck up onto the rear deck where the wheel is, and they begin to wrap around up the wheel, and you essentially both, as you're making these checks, have a +4 bonus now to your checks.
Whoa!
As he has appealed to Marta to use Arcana to assist.
Amazing.
And
amazing.
I need to make sure we get these 5 + 4 is 9. So that.
Yay!
An influx
Thank
of tomes
you,
for you all.
Stefan.
So third round, we need another steerage check, and Kane is now gonna have to make a will save versus magic of Marta. I need the checks from each of you to pilot the ship.
Same check as before?
Yes, whichever of those four.
30 Arcana.
Okay. With the +4?
And I got
No,
a 30.
34. With the +4.
I got a 37 with the +4.
Okay, that is another success. 1 failure, 2 successes. Kane got a versus a 28. He got a 34 on his save. So he's saving. He's only taking partial damage, but he is taking damage. So this next check, you will still get your bonus of +4. So make another check. You're at 1 fail, 2 saves.
Okay.
The clouds have been this whole time. Clouds are rapidly. You're moving through them. You're getting pelted with rain, and you can see the clouds seem to be thinning out a bit. You're catching glimpses of the ground below, not nearly as far away as you would like it to be.
Okay.
What did you get on this third check?
29 for me.
Okay. That's with the +4?
Yes.
And flip.
33.
That's as you see that the ship is breaking through clouds, the two of you are pulling on the wheel, and for a moment you seem to pull against one another, and one of the handles on the wheel snaps off and the wheel spins a little bit. That is 2 fails and 2 successes.
What? Shit.
Let's see.
Oh my
Kane
God.
has a 33 versus a 28. So he's still holding on. You're still going to maintain. You have 2 and 2. I don't want to say this is for all the marbles, but this is sort of for all the marbles, this check.
Okay.
And I need to figure out. Keen is going to
And you say we still get the +4?
Yep, Keen is succeeding on whatever it is he's doing. He's surviving these will checks.
All right. I got a 30.
37.
37? That is going to be a success. So,
Wow.
Keen. That was 3 rounds of this, so that'd be 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15, and 19 plus 21, 40. So Kane takes another 40 points of necrotic damage or negative damage from this. This 40. And the two of you can narrate as you plummet through the last of the clouds. I will tell you that you see a land that is no longer desert. The mountains are behind you. You can see forests, fields, rivers, farmland. Two of you have narrative control on how you successfully crash land the ship. It's not a full
Crash land.
It's not like a full you're getting. It's not like Anakin piloting the capital ship into Coruscant. It's going to survive. It might break a few timbers here and there, but how and what type of terrain? I'm giving you narrative control as you land in the Eye of Dread. Where you choose to land, you can choose near a city, farmland, completely rural, forest, riverlands, marshland. It's up to the two of you. Bring us into the Graveland.
I would imagine as Kane is like taking this necrotic damage, there's some kind of a visual indicator that he's not doing too well. And Flip, you kind of feel Teera pulling this hard at first, and then when she sees this, you feel like her strength kind of wane as she's distracted. And so I imagine the main steering of the ship is kind of on you.
Flip is holding tight to the controls, and he's holding on for dear life because he recognized that this is a tenuous situation. As the boat starts skidding through the grass, it comes down with a thump and starts skidding into the grass, and it's pushing the grass up. So by the time it comes to a stop, it has driven up a small mound of earth, and the edge of the boat is sort of up in the air. Flip runs up to the top and looks, and it seems the dry bed of a creek, and there's wilderness as far as the eye can see.
As the ship is digging through the earth, it's that sort of dried riverbed where it's been dry long enough that it kind of looks muddy, but it's that got all the fissures and cracks in it, so it's sort of damp, cracked earth, and it's just getting plowed in either direction. Chunks of debris, dead river logs that were at one time underwater are being thrown aside. The ground is continuing to build up. It's just this cacophonous roar and rumble. And then the ship just sort of... And there's a little bit of a groaning sound as the ship is settling. There's the sound of a couple pieces of timber that are breaking and falling away. One barrel that probably had some apples in it got initially knocked forward, and now there's just this sort of hundreds of apples rolling along the deck.
Jesus.
And they're kind of coming to as the ship's probably at about a 30-degree angle pointing upward. And then it gets sort of quiet. And then you hear Kane struggling. Let me go. Ah! And as you see him sort of stagger away from the tree form that is Marta. His arms are raw where these vines were intertwined and starting to bleed a bit, and he's sort of holding his arms up like this, he's doing his best to stand upright as he sort of staggers forward, and then he basically steps on one of the rolling apples. His feet go out from under him, and he sort of falls to the deck, rolling up towards the cabin, and comes to a stop, kind of all askew. Looking up, he can't quite see to where the two of you are, and he just calls up, "You're welcome!"
Teera peeks over the railing where it's kind of like she's had to climb up to get to this like railing, and she like looks over and is like, "Thank you."
We see this view from almost like a drone shot of where this river once cut through this wilderness, and there's at least 300 feet of, well, I would say 300 meters of just dug up, churned up riverbed with this ship sitting at its end. And as the camera pans up higher, we just see wilderness all around. Welcome to the Eye of Dread, the Graveland. And that's where we're going to end our session.
Damn. Flip saved the day again with his impeccable choice of landing pad.
I gotta remember, so I did miscalculate slightly when I was building this encounter. I was building it based on level 9s, and then I brought up Kane's character and I went, the hell, they're level 10. Dang.
You're damn right we are.
Oh well. I'm gonna let it ride. I'll just throw a transforming ghost ship in there at some point.
It's okay for us to feel badass once in a while. It's okay to reward your players.
I will tell you that just for the purposes, in case anybody's curious, the form that Marta has taken up is called a corpse root.
Oh, Jesus. Real quick,
Nothing
I gotta laugh. Tamiko just chimed in and said, "You're now free to roam about the cabin."
All right. Well, in coming sessions, you will need to figure out where exactly in the Eye of Dread and the Gravelands you are, and how far you need to go to get to where you're going. And is the Zephyr Hawk airworthy? But for now, you were welcomed by the Sky Pirates Welcoming Committee into the Eye of Dread.
Great. Fuckers.
I was gonna nerf the elemental storm that was happening, and I decided not to. It was basically you were rolling a d10 for up to 5 different types of damage, each one of them doing 6d10 of some type of damage.
That's wild.
Yeah. You got the acid rain and you got the bolts of lightning. You missed the freezing wind, the flaming vortex, and the poison miasma.
Oh, good.
So
that doesn't sound as bad as it was.
Could have been worse. Could
have been worse.
But amazing. On the plus side, there's a transforming bone ship and a pirate crew that's not truly dead because they're undead, that all now know where you are because of the Mariner's crew.
Great.
So we'll see what happens with that.
We gotta get that removed. We gotta frickin' see somebody.
All right. Well, we're gonna head out of here in a moment. We are ending a little bit early, but that's fine. Sometimes sessions wrap up quicker. I do want to take a moment for those that may not have been here at the beginning to that's did the pop up. I hit the wrong button. Be sure to tune in to twitch.tv/mini-terrain domain on Saturday, April 20th at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern for Todd Stashwick's Nerd Circus presents Legends of Eleonora, Zephyr Against the Mist, a Dungeons & Dragons charity livestream event benefiting the Pabloff Foundation, featuring Dungeon Master Todd Stashwick and celebrity players Jonathan Frakes, Deborah Ann Wall, Michelle Hurd, and Will Wheaton. We are super stoked. This charity event is going to be benefiting Pabloff, helping in their fight against childhood cancer. And the battle has already begun. We've auctioned off a seat for this game the auction closed today, $8,500.
That's a lot.
We're almost 10,000. We're almost in for 10,000 on a 50,000 goal, and we haven't even started yet. So in just a hair under 2 weeks, in 12 days, you can tune in to see this awesome event. It's gonna be about 4 to 5 hours of D&D. with some amazing celebrities joining us. Jonathan Frakes will be playing for the first time ever, and it's gonna be a good time. I keep trying to imagine how good of a time it's gonna be because I know we have the yardstick of last fall's event, but each one is so unique, and this is a different set of celebrities. And Todd's an amazing GM. He's going to be running this game in his Dark Age of Fear setting, which within just a couple weeks, I believe, of our game, his setting will be going to Kickstarter, and will include it's a setting book and includes guidelines on how to run Progcore style games. Think Bakshi's Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, those style fantasy type things. Dragon's Lance.
I may or may not have play tested the Dark Age of
Yes,
Fear,
I have.
and it's pretty freaking awesome.
I have not played in it, but I have seen some of that stuff. So, yeah. Anyway, that's going to be fantastic. So be sure to tune in for that. Of course, we do have Kids on Bikes is the only other game we have going on this week. I take that back. We have Kids on Bikes on Thursday, which is our Welcome to Paradise Academy Season 2. And on Friday, I will be over on Nerdarchy, on the Nerdarchy YouTube channel with Ted and some of our other friends to play in our Da Vinci Punk setting of the Old Guard. We had some interesting events happen in our last game just a couple weeks ago. We are very eager to find out how that stuff's going to resolve. I'm not saying that my character sided with the BBEG, but my character sided with the BB.
Oh, damn. Can't have that.
I was asked, do you still serve? And I looked at my companions, looked back at the lady, bowed a knee, and said, I still serve. And it ended with her bamfing herself, her cultists, and me out of there. And one other player,
Hail Hydra of
one
you.
other player also managed to grab hold of my arm as we bamfed out. So we're starting with a split party, and one of us might be turning to the dark side. So
awesome.
We'll see how that goes. So yeah, join us over on Nerdarchy for that. Join us on Thursday for Kids on Bikes, and hope to see you on April 20th as well. Thank you to everybody who supported the channel with bits, with subs, and gift subs, all that good stuff. Of course, we always appreciate that because it boosts the domain tomes up there, but also helps to support the channel. Thank you to everybody hanging out in the chat. Love seeing that activity in there. And if you're somebody that likes to lurk in the chat, or you're watching later on the VOD, know that we appreciate you and we hope you're enjoying what you're seeing. I occasionally get messages from friends or on YouTube, various places, from people that are letting me know that they're watching. I just got a note from a friend today. Hey, I started watching season 2 of Kids on Bikes. I didn't even know he had watched the entirety of season 1. So it was really cool to hear that. So
Great.
I love knowing that people are watching that stuff. And of course, as always, a huge thank you to these amazing players. We started out with 5, now we're down to 2, but that's fine. These 2 are bringing it home. So thank you, as always, to Gary and Cari, without whom this would just be me talking to myself for a couple hours. With that, we're going to go ahead and end this stream. Same way we end every stream. You can say it with me if you want. Metadata.
Metadata.